Back in the ring collecting WWF Attitude Era figures, we've got the Fan Central WWE Elite figure of Mark Henry with sexual chocolate attire. Mostly, of course, basing my wrestling figure collection now off of the Nintendo 64 games like WrestleMania 2000 and WWF No Mercy. He did have the sexual chocolate theme music in both, only the attire in WWF No Mercy. So the gimmick was just starting for WrestleMania 2000 that they gave him the theme. So we'll open up, talk about Mark Henry and the figure here. And I just wanted to point out in the bio, gives kind of his thing about breaking up with D'Lo Brown, his partner, and going off. And then the very last sentence is, you gotta give him a hand. And if you know, you know. And if you don't know, then I envy you massively. Do not know about Mark Henry's hand. The weights, which a nice touch, I guess, because he was a power lifter and all that, but oh, we even got some 75 pounds each of these. That's a heavy one, but again, it's not like he came to the ring with a freaking weight lift, so I don't know, it'd be kind of pointless to just display sexual chocolate Mark Henry with the weights, so neat, but not really. Got the Elite Articulation, and he's got the super thick body, which is really great. Get that size. Got his gold and silver all over, like the real attire. We can kind of compare this to some characters that he'd be interacting with at the time, like D'Lo Brown. Mark Henry's always in that title hunt for the European Championship, so we want to look at some of the people that would be in that time period. Problem would be there's no Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart, which is more people that he interacted with. You always want to get the wrestlers that will interact with the other figures that you have. Here, the Godfather, another partner he would get later as Sexual Chocolate. Kind of go with that. Another figure that, again, on the back it probably would have said pimpin' ain't easy, and you can't print that on something that will be in the toy aisle, I guess. Even just to compare him to X-Pac, just kind of that division of the European title and just people he would be fighting at that time period. It's hard when you're kind of collecting over a scope of a few years, because, this is probably an older D'Lo attire versus, a more later 2000 Mark Henry. So I kind of have to take what they will make, which was why they had kind of a nation of domination, Mark Henry, but I didn't really want that time period. This fits a lot more with what I want to collect, matching the video games of the time more. So I like that he has the shaved hair and stuff, but I think the face just isn't quite that great to Mark Henry. What I have is this figure. From when I was collecting kind of current WWE wrestlers, and Mark Henry was still there at the time. I really like this blue attire, but this face just is really a good likeness for Mark Henry, and the sexual chocolate gimmick, he did eventually start growing out his hair. So what I wanted to do is kind of maybe do a little swap, see if this would match the attire. This is like kind of a bigger head, so we'll see what it looks like here, but I just feel like this one's likeness here is just so much more toward looking like actual Mark Henry. So let's see if I can muscle this on here. Alright, I think it kind of gives him a bit too much neck with this head, just the way it sits, but just the likeness is so much better, and just you're kind of going for the longer hair time period for him here. Not exactly accurate, but I think it just looks a little better than the one it comes with. So let me know which one you think looks better. Which one would you display the figure with? Would you just keep the original just because that's the one it came with? Or would you do this swap trying to get a better likeness on him? So just interesting note, Mark Henry always had kind of simple finishing moves, just a big old slam or the old splash, the big death from above falling onto his opponent. Just kind of an interesting note, just going back looking at the games. WrestleMania 2000, he had a full Nelson Slam, and in WWF No Mercy, he had an even bigger full Nelson Slam put in. But as far as my memory went, he never did that move. So I kind of was wondering what the anomaly was there. I asked around, and best I got was a guy on Twitter that said he watched a lot of this time period. He never noticed Mark Henry doing a full Nelson Slam either, so I don't know if that was just the game developers working with what limited moves they had in their game that just kind of make him a unique character to play instead of just having too many generic slams and not being interesting enough as a character. They gave him that full Nelson Slam since nobody else was using it at the time, but they had the animation for it. Not sure what the story was there, but maybe Mark Henry did do a full Nelson Slam once and we just can't find the clip. So if you know know what match he did that move that they're basing his character off the games off of, then do let me know. So this is a big time edition for my Attitude Era. Just a big guy in size, and just a big character of the time, of kind of the, you know, not the main event or anything, but I always found it more interesting, the guys, you know, all the titles under, you know, like Intercontinental title, European title, Hardcore title, the tag division. Mark Henry was always there for a long bit of it, and this is kind of the gimmick where he really got to show some of his personality in between the matches, and then, you know, still in the matches he's showing off his power and strength from his World's Strongest Man competition and weightlifting days as well. So I probably didn't use the character a lot in those games, but he was always there in all the modes and things, so it's just cool to go back and revisit the games I spent so much time in, and the characters that I saw on TV and played in the games here. So very happy to add Mark Henry in this attire specifically also, just because that was of such the time period there. So open all my other wrestling figures from this time period and in WCW, and I even collect Japanese wrestlers. So get subscribed and you can check those out as I get them. See the old playlist, and I put all my other collectibles here. So I'll just be seeing you in the next video. Just don't ever ask me about the hand again.